This right here, guys, is the easiest routine that you're going to see to 10x your SMMA sales. I'm not going to repeat it too much. I'm going to jump straight into the video because this is what you guys need to start making serious money with your agency. So without further ado, let's just go with this routine. Before starting though, I want to explain a couple concepts on sales that you have to know. And is that sales is the ability to take someone from just a potential customer. Everyone on the niche is a potential customer to an actual paying client, which is someone which is going to take the money out of this pocket and give it to you so that you serve him. Potential customers, as you can imagine, do not buy and therefore do not produce revenue. Actual clients do buy and do produce revenue. So there's a big difference between them, which you have to actually make sure that you know how to convert a potential customer into a actual paying client. If you're an agency owner and you do your own sales, you have to know how to sell. But the problem is that if you're on this video, you don't know how to sell properly, and it's normal. Like, people normally are not born with this skill. Very few, I would say, and you're not one of them, probably. I was not one of them. I had to learn it, but there's no problem because everything you can learn in this life. This is the most beautiful thing. This video is only for people already having sales goals into the calendar. For those ones which might be selling prospects at a terrible low rate, and those ones spending countless hours getting drained at sales calls by prospect that say no more than, I'll think about it, I'll talking with my spouse, I have to see, I'll get back to you, etc., etc. All this fucking bullshit we all salespeople have heard a lot of times, unfortunately. But the good thing is that in this video, you will learn how to completely turn around this situation within your agency. So now that we talk about a couple concepts on sales, we can start by the objective. Sales is just a process we want to optimize step by step. And these are all the areas that you need to make sure that you want to optimize by order. All right. First thing is the frame. Second thing is qualifying. Third thing is pitching. Fourth thing, price review. Fifth thing, objections. Sixth thing, close. These are all the steps that you need to take in order to take someone from just a potential customer to an actual paying customer. All right. So it's crucial that you optimize this process step by step, because inefficiencies on one step will harm the other one. How can you close a prospect that you have not qualified enough? This is just as dumb as trying to sell a medicine to someone which is not having any kind of illness. If you haven't prescribed that prospect as you have an illness and he doesn't understand it, then you'll have a hard time trying to sell medicine, because he will go like, bro, I don't need this. I don't fucking need this. But anyway, also it's very important to be constantly having new calls in the calendar, as we need repetition. We need repetition constantly to keep improving. Just as a bodybuilder cannot improve his form in the gym without actually recording himself and going to the actual place, you will not be able to improve at sales if you are not consistent with outbound, and if you're not having like 20 fresh calls booked into your calendar every single week. That is the reason why this is so important, that you actually have a big volume of sales calls into the calendar. So you need to be consistent with outbound. Now, the framework itself is very simple. You might be thinking, what is that easy routine, man? What is that? Give me that sauce. Give me that sauce. It's very simple, actually. Every day I started sales for a minimum of 60 minutes. And I did this for over 1 year and 6 months consistently without missing one single day. Not even on Sundays. And sometimes on Sundays, I used to do 5 hours of sales training, going wild, hammering it, doing the reps. So you need to take example about that. Also, activities I did in this 1 hour of sales training are the following. There are 4 exactly. And the first one is to listen to my own calls. This helped me become more aware of what were the mistakes that I was making, when I was making them, and why I was making them. You know, if you just reflect, okay, I've made this mistake. That is what. When did I do it? I did it when I was trying to qualify. Okay. Why did I do it? Because I felt awkward asking that question. All right. Then I might be able to think of ways to improve that. All right. But first of all, I need to be aware. That's the reason why I have to listen to my own calls. And by the way, I shouldn't have to comment on this, but you want to record every single one of your calls so that you then on another day you can just check what went right or what went wrong. You know, it's as important to see what did you do good and what did you do wrong. But some mistakes you might be making as rookie are the following: not having authority from the beginning of the call, losing control of the call by responding to prospect questions too soon, revealing price too soon, not looping back when pitching, because when you don't look back, the prospect is just not going to understand how your service is going to be able to help him. Also, asking questions in a very awkward manner, in a very awkward way. That's so important. Once you know these mistakes that you do, then you can think how to stop doing them and find a correct way to act for the next time. Your task from now on is to be present so that you fix these mistakes instead of actually making them again. Now your task is to be present so that next time you're on a call and you try to sell somebody, you are present enough to fix these mistakes and do things right instead of making the same mistakes one time again. B, this is the second activity I was doing in this 1 hour of sales training that helped me improve. Listening to other people's calls. This is such a powerful technique to find solutions to your bottlenecks. Just watching others closing and taking example on how do they overcome those challenging situations with their prospects will teach you how to do the same in your calls. Like you will just copy paste them basically. And it's often such a good way to learn, because when you are a beginner, you don't have a reference of how a good way to act against that is. You need to learn how to behave in these different scenarios. I think of an example which is going to help you understand this situation. Just imagine that I have to solve a mathematical equation, but I just do not know how. It doesn't matter how much times I try to solve this, time and time again, hours, days, weeks, months, years. If I do not have the formula, I won't solve it. And it's as simple as that. Then for you it's the exact same. If you don't know what to say when a prospect says it's too expensive, then you're never going to close that kind of prospects. And that's why you need to take example from others. You can't get calls from people as simple as just making a little search on YouTube, live sales calls, blah 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 blah. Sales calls recording. You'll find people's calls on YouTube. Just do not just copy paste everything, because there's some people like the context can vary a lot, and that will mean that that person can afford to do things or not to do things which you will be able to afford or not to do, depending on the context. The context is different and you need to understand it. But this is a good way to still learn how to handle objections, especially objections, and also basically qualifying, like general qualifying, asking questions. In which tone do you ask questions? In which way? What is the emotion that you put into questions? Etc. 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 Third activity I did to improve my sales is practicing my own script. Point number C. Number C. Yes, I've said that. You need to practice your own script. You need to get to the point you know it by heart. You need to get to the point that you know it backwards. Reading a script is going to make you sound robotic. Reading a script is going to get people pissed off. No one is going to open up to that. People are going to open up when you actually sound human, when you actually sound natural. So I practice my script to sound more natural. Like, just think of famous politicians. They practice their speeches, They practice all that stuff. Why wouldn't you do the same if you actually want to convince people? If you're trying to get people to do something, convince, convey, persuade, you need to practice. Things need to be natural. You cannot be reading a script because that's just going to not work, especially when you have to do intrusive questions. In that kind of situations, you want to sound comfortable, relaxed, collected, and you will not be able to sound like this if you read a script. Now, the fourth and last point on improving at sales is to know what are your main objections. What are those objections, those comments that I'm getting that are impeding my sale happening? What are that kind of comments? What are that kind of beliefs that the prospects have that are making me not close? Because they repeat more than what you think. Not every prospect has a different reason why. No, most of the prospects have 2 to 4 main reasons why people just do not opt by getting your help. It's as simple as that. And you need to know that because I thought of an example. If you hunt, you need to know what animal are you going to eat today. You need to know what kind of animal are you going to kill, because then when you know that, you'll mindfully and carefully pick a weapon that is suited for that purpose. But if you do not know if you're going to eat today or you're going to hunt today a cow or a fucking lion, like you might just pick a knife and think that you're good with that. But when you find out that it's a damn lion, what the hell are you going to do with a kitchen knife, man? What the hell are you going to do with a kitchen knife? It's going to get difficult, yes? Definitely, it's going to be difficult. That's why you want to prepare for it. You want to know what you're going to find out, because if you knew that it was a lion, wouldn't have you picked a shield and a sword? Yes, you probably would have done that. And that would have made your life way easier. It's the same when it comes to selling. If you do not know what objections are those ones that are impeding your sales, then you're not prepared. Then you cannot really think a way of overcoming them. And when you get them on a call, you're going to feel unprepared and you're going to just not close it. As simple as that. Now we finished. We know those 4 things that we're going to do every day in our sales training. It's as simple as that. First of all, you need to listen to your own calls. Second, listen to other people's calls. Third, you want to practice your own script. And fourth, you need to think about what are your objections so that you can plan rebuttals and responses for that situation. Now, I want to explain 2 more things which are super important when it comes to you making actually more money, because everything is about consistency. You need to do this for a minimum of 6 months and your life will change. You as a salesman will change. You will become a fucking different person. I can guarantee you right now. Just give this thing 6 months and you will see the results. Now, some other thing that I want to mention is that you cannot forget that this sales is just 50% of the game. Now you master sales because yes, you've spent 6 months doing sales training, but you still want to master lead nurturing to get the other 50%. That is super important to balance lead nurturing and good sales skills so that you close more prospects that you know what to do with them. As simple as that. So yes, give this process 6 months, change your life, and then also keep thinking about lead nurturing because it's super damn important. And if you're not focusing on it, you're neglecting a big amount of money. I hope this was super fucking useful and super fucking valuable. And see you on the next one when you're already a master at sales.